Start from the top. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How about come on now. Y'all got to participate.
Come on, like, good morning,
Let's try it
y'all.
again. Let's try it again.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning. All right, check it out. Good morning, y'all. All right, check it out.
That was weak.
All right, whatever.
You should say it.
All right. First things first. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
How's everybody feeling?
Good.
All right. Well, make sure that the games are on pause and the phones are down, because we have somebody here that has a lot of great information, and I think you want to listen to. Now, for those that have taken the extra credit on the second quiz, and I said who was the founder of the Long Island Gaming League, and y'all put me, that was wrong. That was incorrect. No, we don't all look alike at the Long Island Gaming League. We are all diverse, and we are all here to give you good information. So what I decided to do was to actually bring the actual founder of the Long Island Gaming League here. One of the main reasons that we're all here today, one of the main reasons why we're able to, how many people, show of hands, are enjoying the gaming PC? Show of hands, show of hands, show of hands, all right? How many people like the PlayStations? Show of hands, like the Nintendo Switch? One of the main reasons why this is all put together, but with the gentleman I'm about to introduce here today. So, just tell you a little bit about, I asked you the question, is gaming, can you build a career from gaming? And this is another example. I'd like to bring examples of why gaming, how gaming careers can be started. This gentleman has been an entrepreneur since at the age of 19. Always has a creative vision to do things that nobody else is thinking of. And 3 years ago, he decided to come together and really provide education and entertainment within the esports industry. So he's going to come and share his story, tell you a little bit about himself, engage with you guys a little bit. So without further ado, let's give a round of applause for the founder of the Long Island Gaming League, Mr. Dennis Buchanan.
All right, Mitch, thank you for the introduction. Nice to see you guys all here in the class. A little bit about myself. Grew up in Bay Shore. So went to Bay Shore High School. Graduated class of '99. When I was in high school, I ran track. Some of you may know this or may not know this. My aunt actually teaches here, Mrs. Taylor. Yeah. So so I got a fond for track. Track. So if there's any track heads out here, that's kind of where I got started when I was in high school. From there, it was just always kind of figuring out what I was going to do when I got out of high school, and one of those things was business. And the reason why I chose to do business is because for me it was something that I could relate to everyday life, so there's always a give and a take, and that's just kind of how I thought if I was going to go into anything, let me focus on business, because that's something I can understand from my day one to when I complete. The first business I started to work on was with my uncle, and he had a computer business, and prior to that I didn't really know what real money was. I didn't even know what it looked like. So I was working in the South Shore Mall, and I think at that time, I don't know, it was like maybe $8 an hour.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So after I did that, I went to an accounting firm. And it was an accounting firm, and it was just like $60 an hour. I'm like, man, I don't even make that working 8 hours in one day. So I was just like, from that perspective, I was like, wait a minute. There's people out here making a lot of money, doing a lot of different things that I'm busting my behind for 8 hours. From that, I just started to look at things a lot differently. So getting on and having the opportunity to work with him really kind of opened my eyes, just exposure to what people could make per hour for doing talking to somebody. From there, I got really into marketing. And marketing is just the way that however you present yourself, people like you, you get friends. It's all some part of marketing. People look at you, they can relate to you, and it goes from there. So when I started looking at marketing, I said, oh, maybe I can help businesses to do the same thing, but make it more of a personal spin on it. Like, all right, this is your business, whether you're selling clothes or you have a firm. How are you going to get your customers to actually like you? So again, bringing it back to I'm a people person. So I'm like, all right, if I can get this group of friends to like me, I can translate that to helping businesses. So I got into marketing, which the firm was called One Recourse Marketing. So from One Recourse Marketing, I had the opportunity to work with a lot of nice brands. I had the opportunity to work with Beyonce when her fragrance came out. I had the opportunity to work with a lot of local companies, and mostly the marketing I did was consumer product goods. Consumer product goods is just the stuff that you buy on a regular day basis, sneakers, candy, you name it. That's the type of marketing that I used to do. Then as it continued to progress, I happened to bump into Mitch. And dealing with Mitch was just from networking. And I was just like, okay, let me go out, and maybe I thought with my marketing business, I can network for other people. Because I thought, all right, this is what I like to do. I could tell this person about that person's business, maybe make a little bit in between if they actually do successful business for that. Coming into Mitch, I said, well, maybe there's a way for us to work together. And we started a podcast. And I'm telling you all this to kind of give you precedence of how it all started and how you keep building and moving. It's called a pivot. Some things not always going to work, and you'll start to find something that does work for you. So me and Mitch decided to do a podcast. And it was called How to Create a Podcast. And we worked in it, NYIT. And we were there. It was just like dealing with students such as yourself. And we wanted to give you the opportunity to kind of speak on topics that meant something to you. And in that, it was just like there was amazing things that a lot of people would assume that I guess being the youth, you guys aren't savvy to, or you don't care about, or there's topics that affect you. Once we actually had the opportunity to kind of hear what was being said, a little light bulb went off in my ear. I was like, wait a minute, this esports thing is something pretty crazy. And I was just like, even though they may not be talking about it in the regard of what it is, but you guys are into these games, and you're playing these games. So Mitch was just like, hey, why don't you start a league? And I'm not the biggest sports fan, so I don't know nothing about nothing. He calls it my friends and family picks when it comes to NCAA or football teams. Basically, I pick teams if I got a family member who lives in that state. Sometimes I win, sometimes I don't. But from that perspective, it was just like you should start an esports league. And I'm just like, man, I don't know how to do that. I don't know nothing about this esports thing. I played games, it was cool, but I really don't know anything about it. And I said, well, if I don't really know anything about it, what do you guys know about it? What do you really understand about this industry that's coming up? I can teach you what we know about the industry of gaming. And for you to be able to now start to share that knowledge with some of your friends is just a very good competitive advantage. Does anybody know, just out of raise of hands, how much the esports industry is worth right now? Who wants to give it a guess?
Billion?
2 billion.
2 billion? It is now worth $21 billion.
Damn.
Yeah. So when you think about that, you're like, all right, if it's worth $21 billion and the average tournament is only $3 million, where's the rest of that money? How come nobody's getting that, right? So now we're competing to be in all these tournaments, and we're trying to do all this other stuff, and it's just like, but you guys are playing the games, you're buying the games, and then you're spending all your time trying to win noodles off of what the industry is overall. So with that perspective, and then kind of going into business over and over again, I said, well, I may not know games, but I know business. And if I'm able to kind of share some insight to you guys about the esports industry, maybe you might have an opportunity that I didn't have to be a part of the NFL. Can't own a team there, barely get a job there, or if I get recruited, again, it goes back to how much am I getting paid as an NFL player versus how much that team is worth and how much money they're making. Esports levels that playing field. You don't have to just be a player to earn money. You could be an organizer, you could be an owner, or you could build infrastructure. So bringing that to today, when the Long Island Gaming League first got started, it was just like, okay, what are we going to do? So at first, everybody's like, when's your tournament? When's your tournament? And I'm like, we don't got any tournaments. And they're like, everybody's looking at us like, what do you mean? Well, who's your esports team? We don't have any teams. And everybody's kind of like really confused on like, well, what do you guys do? You say you're esports, like, what do you do? Do you even play games? And I do. I play Call of Duty and Apex Legends. So those are the games I play. But other than that, I never played in the perspective where I was really good. And once we started to dive in 2019 is when we started, and what we said is, okay, well, we're going to do education in esports. I clearly can't teach you how to be the best gamers out there. I wouldn't know. I couldn't compete with you guys. You'd probably blow me out of the water in any of the games that you choose to play. But what I can teach you about, and what the goal of this was to teach you about, is how you could beat people in the industry. How you could be a lot smarter and have a better understanding of esports over the next gamer. Because you guys are going to grow up in this. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And we want to make sure that you have the opportunity and the tools to at least get a basis of it. So whether you're playing that game, you're looking at it differently. Could this game lead to a career? Could it lead to, like I said before, a relationship, right? It's all about how you can sell yourself to the next person, whether that's making friends or not. In esports, it's a unilateral, it levels the playing field for anybody. You can almost ask any adult that you know if they play games, and some of them will say, "No, I don't play those games," but they're lying to you because they either got it on their phone or they played the game when they were younger. Everybody plays games. And even with that one bit of knowledge that you guys may have when you're going and talking to somebody, making that conversation, everybody becomes equal. Everybody will have a common ground at that part when you just say, "Hey, do you play video games?" And then you could always build from there. But that's just the beginning. That's just getting you in the door. Hopefully what you're starting to learn here, and some of the speakers that I know have come in to speak with you guys, you see how they have the opportunity to do a lot of different things in gaming and what they love to do. So knowing that, I'm hoping that, you guys are starting to understand a little bit more what this class was about when you signed up for it. I'm sure some of you probably signed up and was like, "Yeah, we're going to play games all day." And hopefully, I've been seeing you been getting the games in. But it goes a lot deeper than that. And it's more than just playing games. And it's really about affording you guys some opportunities to bring in some of these guest speakers, to hopefully have some job opportunities for you guys when you get out, or to really give you a better understanding or a step above everybody else. Because whether you go to college or you don't go to college, whether you want to play games competitively or not play games competitively, don't just play the game, create the competition. And then bring everybody else to play. And really start to figure out how to leverage that into making real money. So I'm here, but I do want to open up the floor to, does anybody have any particular questions that you'd like to ask in regards to esports? No? Nothing? All right, well, you're going to leave it to me to ask all the questions, huh? Okay, cool. Why do y'all like playing games so much?
Because it's fun.
What do you think's fun about it? What about it? The graphics? Okay.
Playing with your friends.
Playing with your friends? All right. What else we got?
Being the best in the world at it.
Being the best in the world at it? Okay.
The competition.
The competition. All right. The achievements. The goals, in-game goals? Okay, cool. So there's motives behind why you guys like to do it. So outside of playing the video games for those reasons, do any of you guys look at the games or the esports industry in regards to how you can make money or your career or anything like that? You did? So how do you look at it from that perspective? What would you like to do with esports outside of playing games?
Making the game.
Making the games. Okay.
Oh yeah, I made like 3 games.
Nice. So you want to make games to be like a publisher, sell them. What system would you want your game to play on?
P5, you know that.
P5? Oh, okay. Listen, I'm an Xbox fan, so,
Yeah, Xbox.
Xbox K.
Yeah, listen, I'm ride or die. I'm an Xbox fan, man. I had it when it was a big brick that you could stand on and jump and it wouldn't break. So, the old school Xbox.
Oh, I had that small PS1.
Okay, so you guys will put it on the PS5. Nice. So, outside of making the games, career-wise, anybody ever seen about esports in a career base? Nothing?
I have high top.
Okay. Wow.
Crazy, man.
And is that because you don't think there's any jobs in the industry, or you just, depending on what you want to do, maybe you don't think it relates?
Yeah, I see that.
Nothing?
Okay.
Zip zero? All right. Does anybody, what they say, does anybody know what they want to be when they grow up? Does anybody know what they want to do after they get out of high school or out of college? A nuclear engineer? Okay, and you?
I want to run my own business and have a medical degree to go there.
Who said that?
Oh, nice. Now, does anybody think what they want to do career-wise, esports, could either help them or relate to it? How do you think esports will help them what they're trying to do? You don't remember? All right. Anybody else know how esports could possibly help them in their 2 careers? You have one? Go ahead.
Well, for mine, I say like, then I want to my own business. I can make my own games. I can like illustrate my own games. You know.
Okay. Good. Anybody else have any other guesses on how esports could help them with their future careers that are not esports related at all?
Forza Horizon 5.
Excuse me?
Marketing.
Marketing? Okay, you guys said marketing else? Anybody else? Any other guesses? All right, cool. So I'll give you some other ways that inadvertently marketing can help them. So for her medical, esports, yes, it's gameplay, but also the medical industry is leading a lot into surgical apparatuses, which are generally done with the joystick and the controller.
The little robot.
So that's something that as you're learning and as you're playing these games, they're transitioning all those skill sets into things that you wouldn't even think about. So yeah, so she may be going into the medical field, and as she gets there and it starts going up, if she has to do some type of surgery, she's gonna be able to do that in virtual reality on some type of joystick or something like that, which is not esports quote unquote related, but it also can help her with the understanding of, if I'm going to medical, let me start looking at how medical is transitioning into the new technology and learn that. Because that's something that you can really build upon outside of your love for esports or making a game or something like that. They have different things like that. And the same thing for this young gentleman, also with the virtual reality aspect of where gaming is going. Again, we're only looking at the physical console and what we can do here, but virtual reality is very much a big part of what esports is and what esports is becoming. So that's why we're hoping here with the education that you're looking beyond just the joystick. You're looking beyond just the high score. Even though those things are great, like pay attention to them because they are meant, like you said, you guys do it for fun. They are meant for enjoyment. But when you start looking past that part, you guys can kind of plan differently, right? You know, you can move a little different. You know the storm is coming, you're going to bring an umbrella. You know, you ain't trying to get caught out in the rain. You're not trying to get left out behind. But if nobody's there to tell you that it's coming, then you're not going to be prepared for it. So what we're trying to do here is just like, all right, yeah, we're talking to you about esports, and it's fun, and it's good, but we're trying to prepare you for that storm that no other students are really getting educated on. Nobody's talking to them about this. Doing it, how's that going to help you get to where you want to be? And nobody really has been addressing that this industry-wide. It's all about play the game, earn the points, be the best gamer, do that, do this, stream for hours, stream, you burn yourself out. You're not talking to them about, well, how can virtual reality really take you to that next career level, and you should start looking at virtual reality. They're not talking to you about different things. And I'll ask you this, who knows about stocks?
I know a little bit.
You guys know a little bit about stocks, right? Okay. So the esports stocks, right now they're like dirt cheap. Like $16 a stock, right? That's just like, okay, everybody wants to buy Amazon, everybody wants to buy, you know, Microsoft, Apple, all these stocks, but clearly we can't afford it. But now if you know a little bit about stocks, and you know about esports, and you all know you play it, you know it's only going to go up. It's only going to grow. And that's just the stuff that hopefully with the Long Island Gaming League and our education and, you know, esports, we want to be able to present these ideas. Not saying that you got to do them, not saying you even got to care about them, but just think about them. And if that gets you to think about something and then you have questions and you guys want to come back to us and you say, hey, listen, I was thinking about this esports stock, or I was thinking about this type of job or career or something like that, and I don't know anything about it. Remember, we're on the common ground. We all like games. But outside of games, there's things that I do, there's things that Mitch does, there's things that the people that we work with all have different facets of opportunities, and they would love to be able to help each and every single one of you if you have that question.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next Mitchell J. Backus Live.